If you look in my eyes for the moon.
Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with a Patreon request. Thank you to Anna for this one. This is V from BTS. We've done a couple of his songs before, actually, as well as songs by BTS and some other members. You can find them all in my BTS playlist up here. And he's joined by a new artist to the channel, someone I'm not familiar with, Park Hyo Shin, another South Korean singer. Here are the lyrics. And the song appears to be sung in English. So have a pause, have a read. The lyrics about love, very cozy, very fitting when the title of the song is Winter Ahead. And next to them, I can see an about section. And the genre is jazz pop, which sounds interesting. I'm not too sure what jazz pop is. I guess it will be quite jazzy. So nothing more to say here. Let's get straight into it and find out. That's very cool, very cool. Nice introduction.
Lie with me by the fire. We can be safe from the storms apart. There's a winter ahead. If it's cold and wet, we're always warm here side by side. Come with me, change of heart, who can say? If you look in my eyes for the moon and the stars, hearing strumming guitars, where I am meant that it be nice.
I mean, this is jazz. This is jazz. We've seen with some of our BTS videos before where the introduction is completely different in style to the rest of the song, such as with Lie, for example. That started... And then when the actual song begins... And then another change with the chorus. That's just an example. If you're interested in my video on that song, you can find it, card up here. Anyway, so I was kind of expecting that. We had this, well, a jazz introduction, the aesthetic, so cool. I mean, this is cool to me. None of your chains and all that kind of stuff. To me, this is cool. Smart, stylish, timeless, the aesthetic. And it's a very interesting video here. We have the lyrics in the screen and we have both of them just sitting opposite each other. As simple as it gets, really. Yeah, I like it. Not too much else to say about the video, really, to be honest, because nothing happens and I think that's the point. Speaking of this is the official music video cinematic still version. There is another version, just the official music video. That is 2 minutes longer than this one, and it has 17 million views as opposed to the one we're watching now, which has 4 million at the time of recording. So we'll also watch the official music video after this one. If you'd like to see that too, you can find my full video linked below in the description or the pinned comment. I understand the music is the same, but the other one with 2 extra minutes is more of an actual video to it.
Come on, mate, change of heart, who can say?
So yeah, if you want to watch that with me as well, link below. All right, well, let's do our first pause here. The BTS videos, they're just extremely strict with copyright, so I'm going to pause, don't want to risk anything. If you don't want to hear my thoughts on what we've just heard, go to the timestamp. So, it's archetypically jazz, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who is just reminded of lovely Christmas music. Very cozy, sitting by the fireplace. A lot of what we hear musically, stylistically, is very redolent of music in the mid-20th century. I'm not going to go into absolutely everything because unlike regular pop music, which is often repeated ideas and motifs, chord structures, that kind of thing, we get a lot of change here, and that's fundamentally part of jazz. We're introduced to the instrumentation that we'll be hearing. Of course, you have your piano, your saxophone, just for that cozy feel. I mean, that's as kind of dissonant as you will get in terms of harmony, just this chromatic descent in parallel motion there in the piano. Jazz harmony is just a lot more complicated than your traditional harmony. And there are many reasons for this. To try and, well, let's just use this as an example and I'll try and explain somehow. It might be quite tough. So there, we've finished on this chord. E flat. That's the chord, that's the harmony at that point, which we can hear in the lowest note. Now though, the saxophone has gone to, and I'll play all the notes in the same octave even though the saxophone is up here, but it's playing this G, which is part of that chord. Well, why does it sound a bit peculiar? I mean, it's just the piano part, as I spoke about, chromatic, parallel motion. So essentially the separate voices are just sliding down the keyboard together, disregarding what you might expect to hear based on harmony. And it's that lower note in the piano, finishing on that, which is this note here, which just clashes massively with, which is the chord that we get. But that's not all. Also, the upper part of the piano. That's this note here, this C. If I play that chord to you, it basically just sounds like noise. It's extremely discordant. And it is discordant, but when we hear it because of the instruments and how they're playing, it doesn't sound as discordant as showing you on an online keyboard. Anyway, so we get this real tension built by this harsh jazz dissonance, which then kind of resolves. Every chord that we hear now, it's not just your standard chords. There will always be like a 7th note in there or a 9th, and they just make the chords a bit non-standard. I'll just call them jazzy chords. Basically, they're more complicated than your regular classical chords. Then you also have the rhythms that play a huge part. The piano, mostly chordal, but quite syncopated. The saxophone going on the main riff. It's hard at this point to get a feel for the underlying rhythm of the music. For example, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, which is interesting because I find this music very comforting. But everything about the music, the harmony, the rhythms, should, on paper, kind of be a bit unsettling. But then they come in with their singing. Just after the little hi-hat there. And of course, jazz, one of the most iconic elements. If you say mimic jazz rhythm, people would go tss, 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 tss.
Lie with me by the fire, we can be.
The melody is just completely designed to really enhance the jazz harmonies that we're hearing.
Lie with me.
The opening. Doo, doo. That's a major sixth, one of my favorite intervals.
By the fire, we can be.
Then he moves back up above this top note just by one note. Doo. Then jumps back down. Doo, 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 doo.
We can be safe
higher
from the
again.
storms apart.
Back down, then this quite drastic jump up on the word up high. So as relaxing as the melody is, it's actually quite jumpy. And that's overall, I think, the main thing I like about what I've heard so far. If we take a deeper look into how the music's constructed, maybe shouldn't be so cozy, but it is. Lovely, soft, airy voice by V there. Vibrato coming through at the end of the phrase.
There's a winter.
And here's an example of when he chooses not to use vibrato, so a straight tone, and it really brings about the dissonance.
We're always warm here side by side.
And now we also have the double bass in full swing, of course, a huge part of your typical jazz.
Come with me, change of heart, who can say?
I love Park Hyo Shin's voice. I mean, what an introduction to a new artist.
If you look in my eyes.
Oh, slight blend coming through, air coming through, lovely vibrato. Him and Sinatra would have been an amazing duo, I'm sure, to be sat here singing. Oh, yeah, lovely. And then just before we carry on, chromaticism, hugely important in this. We'll hear it everywhere.
Guitar.
So in case anyone isn't sure what chromaticism is, here the melody goes. These three notes are chromatic because they are right next to each other. The first two notes skip out a note. They skip out this one, which means they're not chromatic. So these chromatic inflections, like a little slide to the next note, they're everywhere. So important. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. Let's carry on. This is really, really interesting.
I'll be with you until the spring runs by and the summer starts to burn. I'll be with you when the autumn rain returns. Don't you wanna say you'll stay? Lie with me by the fire, we can be safe from the storms up high. There's a winter ahead, weather is cold and wet. We're always warm in paradise, paradise.
Yeah, really, really nice. As I said, strict copyright, so we'll do a second pause here, just go over a few things from that middle section. We're roughly 2/3 of the way through. So from where we carried on, V took over the melody again. Lovely on I'll Be With You, how he rises up there.
I'll be with you.
Not quite his full head voice, but he is just making it so soft with the air, the amount of air he's using. Anyone who's seen my channel before knows that I love airy singing. Dimash, for example, whom I've done many videos on, he does it a lot and I always love it.
Until the spring runs by and the summer starts to burn.
And V has a really nice lower register, like when he jumps down on this word by.
Spring runs by and the summer starts to burn. I'll be with you when the autumn rain returns.
So there we have a really nice subtle key change. It sounds so natural. Why has that happened? Because now Park Hyo Shin, well, he sings I'll Be With You, the exact same notes, the same melody that V just did.
I'll be with you.
But it's the double bass there that really enables this key change. If we listen to it in V's part,
I'll be with you.
it basically goes, which is fairly standard, things are quite calm. But then when Park Hyo Shin takes over, try and listen out for the bass.
I'll be with you.
So it's that same starting note, but then it jumps up to, and you'll notice how it's chromatically just above the note it went to previously. So instead of, now it's, this interval in itself is called a tritone, diabolus in musica, the devil in music, a name given to it centuries ago just because of how it sounds. So this awkward interval stands out in the bass part, the harmonic foundation, and suddenly the doorway is opened up to new harmony.
When the autumn rain returns.
The full bass line for that section. And then here. Again, just chromatically, one note below the starting note there, and then back up to. So listen out for the bass part. Tension in the middle of it, and then resolution at the end.
I'll be with you when the autumn rain returns.
Allowing for his growth through that phrase. As the vocal melody is now singing one long note, the piano starts playing quicker notes. Don't
you wanna say you'll stay?
Very cool, simple harmony between the two.
Stay, lie with me by
Interesting percussion.
the fire. We can be safe from.
And now we've got the clicks as well. I just want to click along with it. Then of course we get the saxophone solo. And now the strings coming in. No singing, so they will thicken the texture, you know, add more instrumentation. Really nice song and arrangement. I really do like it. Especially when the majority of the instruments start moving homophonically with each other. Chun, 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 chun.
I'll be with you until the spring runs by and the summer starts to burn. And I'll be with you when the time returns. Yes, when all the seasons turn. Come on, May, change of heart, who can say? If you look in my eyes, for the truth in my heart, from a world far apart, you realize where you can find paradise. Paradise.
How cool. How cool. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of repeating ideas for that final section, but the main difference now, things were starting to get a bit more tense, a bit louder.
Seasons turn. Come on, May, change of heart, who can say?
Just a thicker texture, really, you know, these more sustained chords in the background. And the bass line is so cool. When I was younger, I said if I could do any job in the world, irrespective of pay, it would be a double bassist in a jazz quartet. Such a cool bass line for pretty much the whole song. But here it's actually at one of its simplest moments.
If you look in my eyes,
Which kind of allows for more focus from us on the two guys singing here in harmony. Even though the sound is louder and there's more instruments playing now, it's almost as if they're saying, let's take a step back. It's the voice's time to shine here. And V and Park Hyo Shin's voices just work so well together.
for the truth in my heart, from a world.
They both just have a really similar style of the airy, blended voice higher up top, and the tone of their voice, their timbres just work well together. A very good match this, a very good match. I wonder who approached whom. And then of course your classic jazz ending. Piano outlining a non-standard jazz chord, the strings up there as well. Yeah, jazz harmony, it's a different type of beast. One that you just can't even scratch the surface of in a reaction video like this. I really, really liked that. Smooth jazz, I'd call it. Some jazz, the really improvisatory jazz, can be a bit mental at times and a bit hard to listen to in my opinion. But this, oh, so smooth, so smooth. Really surprising, I just wasn't expecting that. I don't know if V is starting to branch away from BTS or, well, I don't know. You tell me how or why this song came into existence. I'm happy for it. I now want to go and watch the official music video. Maybe some more will happen in the video. So if you want to go and watch that with me, again, head on over to the description or the pinned comment. And if not, thank you as always for watching. Comment down below other songs by BTS or any of its members you'd like me to do videos on in the future. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you next time.